Hi guys, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about scales for your audition. Alright, because you've been practicing hard on that audition piece of music. I know it gets kind of tricky, but you can do it. Keep breaking it down and practicing really hard. Remember, the other half of your audition, you're going to be performing your scales for us, okay? Now, please don't worry. Alright, we've been working on scales ever since the beginning of 6th grade, starting with our mini scales. Okay, this is just going to give us kind of a snapshot of all of that work, fingers, technique that you've been working on, okay? All right, so a couple of things to remember, and again, they're on the slide, so take a peek. Number one, I want all of your scales, I would love for them to be performed in scale rhythm. So for that, I mean quarter notes and eighth notes, okay? For beginners, like scales level 2 is written in. All right, now remember, we've also kind of worked on that, if you like, with scale rhythm review with level 1. Okay, so if you're doing the working from level 1, you're just going to have to change it in your brain. Instead of half notes and quarter notes, switch it to quarter notes and eighth notes, like 1, 2, take, 3, take, 4, take, 1. All right, or down, down, up, down, up. That's the rhythm that we are going to be listening for on your scales, okay? Thing number 2, don't forget about your articulation. Remember, on our scales, we tongue up and then we slur down. All right, so make sure you perform them. So tongue up all the notes, slur all the notes on the way down, okay? Thing number 3 I want you to think about. I want you to make sure that you have a plan for your scales. And by that, I mean, if you are able and you feel comfortable, I would love for you to perform as many scales as you can, like from scales level 2 or 2 octaves. All right? I have all of them on our scales level 2 slides ready to go if you want to work ahead, if you're feeling really good about them. Okay? I want you to do, as many as you can, or as many as you feel comfortable with in the 2 octaves. Now, if that's not many of them, that's fine. You can play them from scales level 1, and you can play them 1 octave. All right, so don't freak out. I want you to do what you can. You're just trying to give us kind of a snapshot as you as a flute player. All right, so do what you can and what you feel comfortable with. All right, so make sure you have a plan. Go through each of the scales: B flat, F, C, G, D, D flat, A flat, E flat, and your chromatic scale, and I want you to have a plan, meaning, are you going to play 1 octave, 2 octaves? Which chromatic scale are you going to be playing? All right, I want you to have a plan. All right, so go through and figure that out. I've got all 3 scale sheets here with me. I've got level 1 in case I need to do the 1 octave version. Just remember to change the rhythm. I've got scales level 2. You can even circle which ones you want to do on each of them. And then, your chromatics page. Okay, you have a couple options there if you've looked ahead. All right, so have a plan for each of your scale, which octave. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is tempo or speed with your scales. Okay, so here's a weird thing. On your audition, I actually do not want you to play with a metronome. And here's why. On your scales, if you're feeling really comfortable, I want you to be able to go faster if you want to. All right? But you still got to keep it really even. Okay, so if you're going to stick with our quiz tempo of 60, that's fine, but you're going to be playing without a metronome so that Mr. Cyber and I can hear how evenly you can keep your tempo without it. Okay, now if you can go faster on some scales but need to go slower on others, that is totally fine. But again, have a plan. Okay, so my suggestion to you is to go through and practice each of these scales. Okay, go back even on ones we haven't performed in a while. Okay, go back and have a plan and practice each of your scales and figure out what you're going to do. Okay, so the next thing I want you to think about is when you're going to record these. The way you're going to do this is you're going to go in order. Just start at the top with B flat and work your way down the page. F, C, G, D, D flat, A flat, E flat, and then last you'll perform a chromatic with your plan. Okay, now in between it's okay to pause. Okay, it's okay to play test notes. It's okay again to play in different tempos if you would like. Okay, but again, please make sure you've gone through and prepared yourself with your plan. okay? So I'm going to play you a couple of examples of scales, okay, and kind of go through the process, kind of the thought process and the playing process that you can use, okay? So I'll start at the top with B flat, okay? Now for me, I'm going to play, I've practiced my B flat scale 2 octaves, so I'm going to play it 2 octaves, all right? Now before I play, I'm going to think through my tempo, how fast I want to go. Let's see. B flat, C, D, E flat, down, down, up, down is the tempo I'm going to go. My toes are tapping. Then I'm going to play a really beautiful test note just to make sure my fingers face air. Everything sounds great. Thinking about that tempo again, my toes still tapping. To the next one of F. Think through this one. Maybe you're just going to play the 1 octave version. That's fine. Next one, C. Thinking about it. Danger note. Okay, I need long thumb, right? Remember to think about those danger notes. So just a couple of examples for you on how you can kind of, the thought process and how you can kind of just perform those in a row, okay? Alright, so again, you can pause in between, just get your bearings on your next scale, think about key signature danger for a couple of seconds, figure out your tempo that you're going to go, and then go for it, okay guys? Alright, so just want to give you a couple tips and things to think about as you're preparing for that audition. You guys are going to be awesome, I know you are. If you need anything, have any questions, send me a comment on Google Classroom or an email, guys. Okay, I'm here for you. Bye.